I've heard a lot of women lately talk about like why their skin looks so dull right now in this season. Often when I talk with them, they have great products that they're using, but then when they look in the mirror, their face still feels tired, ashy, and lifeless. And so what you're seeing in the mirror may not actually be coming from that skincare routine at all. You're probably doing everything correct, but it probably has more to do with the stress your face has been carrying all day or all week, right? We've got a lot of stress, frustration, worry, fear, those kinds of emotions can begin to show up on your skin and in your face, even when you're doing everything correct. Okay, so today I want to help you understand that connection between your emotions and your skin, because there are a lot of things that could be happening underneath the surface of the skin that a serum really cannot fix. Okay, so welcome back to Making Life Beautiful again. I'm Michelle, a health and beauty strategist for Christian midlife women. And around here, we talk about beauty in a completely different manner because we do care about our skincare and healthy aging and about looking good in the mirror. But we also understand that beauty is connected to the whole woman and that it's gifted to us by our Heavenly Father. And so your body, your thoughts, your emotions, habits, even your faith, all of these pieces complete and come together to create your beauty that you emanate and radiate. So that is why you can sometimes follow that same skincare routine. And one day you're having really great results. And then the next, suddenly your skin feels duller, drier, more irritated, or aggravated and reactive. So those products didn't change, but something else in your life did. And so, maybe you're not sleeping well, or you might be worried about someone in your life. Your schedule's probably full, being that it's summer. And so when you sit down, even to rest, you never really seem to settle in, right? That wired but tired feeling from our adrenals always going. So stress is not always the reason for dull skin or irritated skin. I want to make that clear, but research has shown that ongoing stress can affect how your skin holds moisture, your skin barrier, and how it repairs itself and how it responds to inflammation. And so that's why your skin can suddenly seem reactive during a really hard season and be aggravated with conditions like acne, psoriasis, eczema, itching, right? And so even when nothing has changed, there's science and research behind it that about that connection between your mind and how your skin is totally real. So I've noticed this in my own life lately, especially in my jaw. That is where I tend to hold my tension when I get stressed. I start clenching my teeth. I'll hold my breath. So I have a hardness that happens right here at the base of my jaw, but then right here underneath my neck, it gets really soft and the skin gets really loose. And so those things, you wouldn't think that they're connected, but they are. And so it does beg the question, instead of what skincare would help this, what is my face carrying today, right? Because lately I've been putting a lot of work into my last minute details for my book launch. I have some really cool, fun things that I'm working on that I can't wait to talk to you about. But the sad thing is there's no official deadline yet for when my book gets released. So all of this is self-imposed. And I hope I'm not the only one here who gives themselves self-imposed pressure. But, when you're your own boss, you also can become your own slave driver, right? And so during this season, I've been taking care of my skin. My face, though, was carrying a lot of internal stress. So what am I carrying on my face? That's the question I want us to ask instead of what skincare products will help. And so your skin, it's not working separately from the rest of your body. It's not in a world of its own. And so it's responding to what is happening on the inside, the rest of you, including your sleep and your hormones and your stress and your thoughts and your emotions. And so that is why the same skincare routine suddenly doesn't seem to be working, right? The products may have not changed, but your internal environment has. And so when your body feels under pressure, your body begins to do things to prepare to respond to that stress or that trauma, right? Your breathing, it gets a little more shallow and it slows down. Your shoulders might begin to rise, your jaw tightens, your forehead, it might pull together and create wrinkles. And of course, you may even hold your breath like I often do. So your body, it's bracing for something. It's bracing for an impact. whether it's a real or perceived danger, that doesn't matter. Your face and body doesn't know the difference. And so this stress response is good for our bodies when it happens every once in a while, because your body was designed to handle it. It was designed to do that in that type of response to help you respond. But the problem is when that bracing for impact, your body never gets a chance to know that it's no longer needed. And so we carry that throughout our whole day while we're sitting at our desk, answering emails, driving to the store. And so the sad part is the stress that you're maybe having might even be good stress. It might be excitement for something that's about to happen, and your body doesn't know the difference between that and the real danger or the perceived danger. And so that ongoing stress makes it harder for your skin to hold on to moisture, recover the way it normally should. And so if you already have sensitive skin, it can even become more reactive. But there is another piece that I think we often miss, is stress and how it holds tension in your face. And we've touched on it, but think about the expressions that you have when you're concentrating, right? Maybe not even stressed out, but you're concentrating. So your mouth might tighten up, your brow might scrunch together, your jaw may clench, your shoulders might be pulling up. And so when you repeat that position or hold that position over and over, it can start to become your resting expression. We all know that common phrase. And so I noticed this happening in my own face, right? Everything looked and felt like it was being pulled down because of that tension here. So everything was pulling downward. And so the idea behind the kind of facelift that I've been working on a little project, you guys, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. But it's not about forcing everything in an upward movement. It's about releasing some of what has been pulling it down, right? Because sometimes your face does not need another treatment, right? It needs the opportunity to slow down and stop bracing for that impact. And so your skincare, it may be caring for the surface of your skin, but your nervous system still needs something to tell it it no longer needs you to brace for that impact. And so, so that's what I've been working on, is the facelift with that in mind. But the next question becomes, okay, so how do we help the brain and the body and the face receive that different message? Well, today I'm going to give you one simple thing you can do, and it's something we know about, guys. And I think sometimes our brains get a little offended because it feels so simple, but that is to begin with your breath, right? The next time you catch yourself clenching your teeth or holding your breath, I want you to stop for a minute, let your shoulders drop, create a little space between your teeth, then breathe in slowly through your nose. And then when you exhale, exhale everything out just for a little bit longer than that inhale took, right? The exhale is so important for releasing that extra tension and all the thoughts and emotions you've been carrying right now. And so when you're breathing in, you can say a prayer like this: God, show me what is mine to carry today. And then on the exhale, you can say, and help me release the rest, right? I love those breath prayers. And so that small pause, it's simple. I know it is, but it changes the way you show up in the moment, right there in your life. So we're talking about making our lives beautiful again. This is one way for you to show up in the current moment. You're no longer moving through your day with the weight of that tension pulling everything down, or that or the thought that everything is depending upon you. You know, you are becoming a woman who notices what she's carrying, brings it to the Lord, gives herself permission to rest without checking out or feeling like she's missing out on responsibilities. That's a different way to live our lives. And so I hope that today helped. And if it did, and you were able to recognize some of the stress you might have been carrying in your face, share this episode with a friend, another woman that you think, man, I know she's been under a lot of pressure this week. Maybe this would help be a good reminder for her as well. And I want to invite you to our 100th live stream celebration party. It's a PJ party, August 19th, 7 p.m. Central. And that's where I'm going to debut my new facelift method that I've hinted towards. And so we'll be walking through that 12-minute facelift using frequencies, breath work, thought work, prayer, and of course, a face exercise move. But I'm keeping some of those details a surprise for now. But this is something I've been building for that woman who wants something simple, doesn't take very long, but it'll help her relieve stress, regulate the emotions, connect with the Heavenly Father, and care for your face all at the same time. And so, just so you know, there will not be a replay of that event. So join us live at the Making Life Beautiful Again Facebook group to get the link and all of the details. And so next week, we're going to take this conversation a little step deeper, because stress is not always coming from what is happening today, right? Sometimes it comes from places where life has cracked us wide open and we feel exposed. We have disappointments, criticism, and the moments where we came under fire. What if those cracks are not the end of your story? And, I want to remind everyone is imperfect, right? The Bible tells us we all fall short. And sometimes it's that gold in the cracks that reveals our true value in a completely different way. So next week, we're going to be talking about forgiveness, healing, how the people who brought us under that fire may have played a major part in strengthening the woman you're becoming and increasing your value.